everybody, I am ARHartie, blogger and joy strategist from chasing-joy.com. And this is, I guess I'm going to call this a mukbang. I don't know if this really will count as a mukbang because I'm just about done eating. This video was going to be I guess it still is a TTC update. It was going to be about the start, the actual true start of my frozen embryo transfer cycle. But that's not exactly what's happening. I had this chair here because baby Joy Chaser was eating and he was going to join me in the video, but just that quick he ran away, and he's on the other side of the room watching Blue's Clues, which is a show he discovered this week. I had introduced him to it months and months ago, and he had no interest. And then a teacher at daycare brought it up this week. She said, I think he'd really like that show. So I said, well, let me try it again. And she's right. So his attention span has grown. He's really into it. So he exited out of our video, but so I am finishing up my dinner. So baby Joy Chaser got some chicken nuggets and french fries from McDonald's. And I had a taste for sushi. I don't really eat much of the raw stuff, but I just got a shrimp tempura roll. So I have that in here. But you see, I'm just about done. I got like one piece left. And then I had wanted, are you coming back to the video?
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
No.
Well, you moved the chair now, you can't see yourself.
Mom.
Come on.
Mom, mommy.
So he's back for the moment. So I had a taste for like a really good shrimp spring roll, but I don't have a place to go and get that. I've only had that like out at restaurants that are nowhere near me. So I said, well, let me try the sushi places, their rock shrimp, because it'll be like a fried shrimp and it comes with a sauce. And so I called and I asked the lady, I said, is the sauce already on the shrimp? And she said yes. I said, can I get my sauce on the side? And it seemed like she didn't quite hear me, so I repeated my order again, and she repeated it back, and I said on the side, and she said yeah, on the side. So I pick it up on the way to get baby Joy Chaser from daycare, and here are my rock shrimp covered in sauce. And then I don't even know if I have it over here, my receipt. Yes, here's my receipt, and on the receipt it says, I don't know if I can show it to you guys. It says, can you see that? Oh, it might be backwards. It says shrimp, rock shrimp, extra sauce on side. Ooh, calm down. You're gonna mess your show up. Why do you want the remote?
Can I lift Josh, mommy?
I see Josh. I guess I'm talking too loud. I think he's asking me to turn the TV up, but I had turned it down so you guys could hear me. But anyway, Blue's Clues in the background is probably better than the noise from my car's air conditioner. I tried to do things in a convenient way and do videos while I was in the car like other people, and like I used to do. Apparently that doesn't work well in the summer because that air conditioner noise was destroying my videos. But anyway, so the rock shrimp covered in sauce, and it's very spicy, and I just can't handle spice like that. So it tastes good. So I tried to blot some of the sauce off, and then I got some of baby Joy Chaser's french fries to help. So I'm a little disappointed in my dinner, though my shrimp tempura roll is good. But
Mommy.
Yeah.
Did you remember, Mom?
Did I remember what?
Well,
You gotta look right here. That's where the camera is.
I don't think that's a good idea, Mommy.
It is a good idea. Why don't you think that's a good idea? Tell the people what you're eating. What are you eating? He was just eating some marshmallows and a Swedish fish candy because right when I was about to start the video, somebody did poops in the potty, which is great. When daycare started back, he has done really good with the potty training. He went like 3 weeks with no pee accidents. Of course, I'll get into that in a minute, but he had pee accident at home with me. And then he started doing number 2 in the potty, so that's been great. So I'm still, for number 2, I'm rewarding him with like 3 or 4 mini marshmallows and like 1 Swedish fish candy. So hoping to keep the excitement going for that until it gets to be, you know, down pat. So that's what he was just eating. He ate that and then he's going back to his chicken nuggets. So I think the last video you guys saw, I was saying that I had got the calendar for my frozen embryo transfer cycle and how that had been a good day, but then I was starting to like panic, and I said I would do a whole separate video about the panic, and then I forgot, and then I kind of calmed down from the panic, but now I feel a little panicky again. So I'll share. So what happened today? So today is September 10th, and it was supposed to be the start of my frozen embryo transfer cycle. So I went to my doctor's appointment this morning for my lining check. They weighed me again, which I was annoyed, like, oh, why do they keep weighing me? But I haven't really gained any weight, so that was fine. I didn't really lose any weight either because I injured my foot. If you follow me on social media, on Instagram, you know that I hurt my foot because I was trying to do jump ropes like Tanika TTC. No, Simply Tanika. I'm like mixing my people. Simply Tanika was doing a jump rope challenge, and it reminded me I had a jump rope, and so I wasn't trying to do 1,000 like her, but I was, you know, working my way up for a couple of weeks, and I had flat feet, and one day I was jumping and I just got a sharp pain in my arch. So I've been not able to do a whole lot in terms of working out for like 2 weeks, but still been active, still been doing some kind of workouts, push-ups on the wall, chair cardio, which I found a YouTube video for that, and I just started doing a little bit of treadmill, like 5 minutes, then I did 6 minutes, and I think on Monday when I work out again, I'll try 7 minutes. So my foot is improving. I'm trying not to overdo it, and I'm gonna lay off the jump rope. So anyway, that being said, so I'm happy I didn't gain any weight. So then they did the blood work, then they did the lining check. I was late to the appointment. I was so trying to be in a good frame of mind. I was listening to some praise music that I hadn't really done that for a while. Listen to like my favorite gospel artist stations on Pandora.
I had a mark.
Yes.
Oh.
And he's so silly. So I listened to my favorite, gospel artist over there, and I was in a pretty good mood. But then it just seemed like there was so much traffic. School has started back. I'm not used to all this traffic, so we're rushing because of the traffic. Don't spill it. And look at this milestone, drinking from a big boy cup with no lid or straw. And this week at school, he's been good about drinking his water. He actually asked for water at school today, which is why I'm not making a big deal about this juice from McDonald's tonight. But anyway, so we're already running late. Then when we get to daycare to drop him off, he falls on the ground running. And so then he's so upset, and like that's slowing me down further. So my appointment was for 8:30. I had to call them and tell them I was going to be late. And then there was construction. It was just like all these obstacles, and I was just like, just stay in a good, happy peace of mind. It's a beautiful day, and I was feeling pretty good. And made this appointment. They got my blood work, and then they did the ultrasound. My lining looked nice and thin for how it should be for right now. And my right ovary looked good, and then here comes the left. it's always the left ovary. The left ovary is harder to see, and for whatever reason, that's where I tend to get a cyst after I ovulate. So just like with the ERA cycle, I have a cyst on the left ovary. Now, I guess I didn't learn my lesson because with the ERA cycle, I had scheduled the dates for off from work and then had to take the dates back and change them. And I said, well, what are the odds of that happening again? I probably won't have a cyst this time. And here we are, the exact same scenario. The cyst, the nurse actually thought that maybe it was the same cyst that just hadn't gone away because it was the same size and everything. But nope, she called me this afternoon and the cyst is making estrogen. So everything is pushed back. I know I had asked you guys to pray for me at 9:29 in the morning and the evening, or pray along with me at 9:29 in the morning and the evening for a successful transfer. And now the transfer is not going to be that date. So she called and asked about pushing back the date. So we set up a whole new calendar. And the calendar really is what's causing my panic, right? So to speak. So y'all know we are in COVID. It has not gone away. In a lot of ways, it's worse. A lot of places have higher numbers. This Delta variant is more contagious, and more younger people, more kids are getting it. And it's just a whole thing. It's a whole stressor by itself. Now, baby Dre Chaser is going back to daycare, which is great for the days where I get to work on my own and not, have that conference calls with him here. But the downside is, since he's been back, we started back, I think, mid-July. We had 4 good weeks. And then in August, I'll say the poop hit the fan because I get a call like late at night from a text from a coworker asking was I up. And this person doesn't usually contact me. Orange. She's a friend, but we don't talk on the phone or text a lot.
Orange, yellow, blue.
That's right. Orange, yellow, and blue. So I text back and I'm like, yeah, I'm up. Is everything okay? And so she's like, she calls me. And then she's like, Miss So-and-so from daycare, one of the teachers, I heard anonymously that she has COVID. Sit down. But she has COVID. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I'm panicking because I'm like, well, and they've not said anything. So I start messaging and texting the teachers that I know, like, hey, someone told me Miss So-and-so has COVID. Is this true? Nobody responds back. So I text another mom that I know, and she says, yeah, it's true, because her son was in the room with her, and they were told that they have to bring him home, and he has to stay home for 14 days from the contact he had with her. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I said, well, I'll keep him home for 2 days. This was a Wednesday night. So I said, well, I'll keep him home Thursday and Friday just to be cautious. So, and then on Friday, it was one of the rare days where I actually had to go onto base where I work. So I ended up having my cousins who live in Maryland drove all the way to Philly to watch him so that I could go on base for like an hour and do what I needed to do. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. And then I'm like, okay, not trying to make a big deal. I did speak to the daycare people, and I won't go into that a whole lot, but he was not around that teacher, and I could hear in their voice that they thought I was being overly cautious by keeping him home those 2 days. So anyway, Monday comes, I take him back. Middle of the day Monday, I get a call from the daycare. Sit down. Sit down. I get a call from the daycare, and they're saying, another teacher, they won't tell me who because it's HIPAA or whatever, but somebody told me who they thought it was later. Another teacher, a different teacher now has COVID, and she was in the room with him. And so therefore I had to come pick him up immediately, and he was not allowed to return to daycare until the following week because that was 2 weeks from the contact that he had with her. So, I'm trying not to freak out. Like, he'd been fine. But now I'm thinking about now my cousins drove all the way up here. If he was exposed and is non-symptomatic, he could have exposed them. Luckily, they're vaccinated, but they live with my older aunts who are also vaccinated. But the Delta variant, people who are vaccinated have been getting sick, even though they've been recovering. I'm not likely to go in the hospital, but I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's freaking me out, worried. And the day that this happens is, let me think, what day was that? I feel like this was, that's what it was. The Monday when they called and said I had to pick him up, that was cycle day 1. Right, so I had just gotten my, it was cycle day 3. So I had, sit down, you're showing everybody your underwear. Sit.
No.
So I had just heard from my nurse. It was I had cycle day 1 over the weekend, let her know, so she called me, and it was cycle day 3, and we were discussing the calendar. I was supposed to start birth control that night, and set up all the dates. I just hang up from her and the daycare calls. So I go from being super excited about the cycle to now I'm freaking out because COVID exposures.
Mommy.
Yes.
I drink my water, Mommy.
You did drink your water. I'm so proud of you. High five for drinking your water today. Yes.
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah, you want to tell the people you drank your water?
Nah, you.
Yeah, well, you got to look at the camera.
Mommy, stop. The dog.
I see the dog. The dog's name is Blue. So I go from super happy that the cycle is starting to now I'm panicking because of all the COVID stuff. But now I'm realizing, like, oh crap, like, what if on the day I go for embryo transfer, they're like, he can't be at daycare, or they're like, you gotta come get him, or the day I'm supposed to go, like, I'm in the middle of the cycle, and like timing counts, right? I have to have my embryo transfer 6 days after I start the progesterone. And what if they're like, oh, he now can't be there? So I'm like freaking out. I'm single. If you're new to my channel, I'm a single mother by choice. I chose to get pregnant with my son on my own, even though I hadn't found a spouse. So I decided to just use a sperm donor from a sperm bank. Just getting older, and I didn't want to miss my window to have children with my own eggs and whatnot. So there's no other parent, right? Both of my parents are deceased, so most of my friends have their parents, the children's grandparents, that they can call last minute emergencies. I don't have that either. And sit down. You keep showing everybody your underwear. You can't stand up right now. Nope.
I'm dying.
So, the biggest struggle, and I think I'm going to do a whole separate video, the biggest challenge I feel like I'm facing now in this solo mom, single mother by choice life is support in terms of a second set of hands when you need it, like a babysitter when you need it. Because most of my friends and my immediate family member all work. Like, everyone works, and I have probably one of the most flexible jobs of everybody. So they don't have jobs where they can, for the most part, just stop what they're doing and help me. And I was able to find a babysitter during COVID who was helping me out once a week. And she was supposed to help me out on weekends and stuff when the summer came, and her schedule was supposed to be lighter. But instead of her schedule getting lighter, she picked up 2 other jobs, so that she was never available really on weekends or evenings. And now the daycare started back. She's no longer babysitting on Thursday, so she's not basically in no time since we returned to daycare that I've needed someone for another time has she been available. And then I interviewed with another babysitter that same night, that same Monday, a girl who watched him one time before. And when we talked, it seemed like her schedule was going to be free and flexible. But then she completed her social work certificate, and now it's working on this new project. And so now she's not really available. So I really, just having someone for last minute stuff, I don't have it. And so it's just making me freak out and panic. And I have I don't want to call it a group chat, but it is kind of like a group chat on Instagram with some of the other single moms by choice that, I followed on YouTube and got to know on YouTube, and vice versa. And one of them is Tamika TTC, and she was kind of calming me down a little bit. And so I did reach out to a few friends, and one of my friends was saying she could be back up for one of the days. And then my cousin, who's Baby Joy Chaser's godmom, said she could be back up for one of the other 2 days. And I felt very relieved and calmed down, like the panic is going away. Sit down, I keep telling you. You sit down, you're showing everybody that you don't have pants, so sit down. Sit down. Sit down. All right. So, this little boy make me forget what I was saying. So, I calmed down, and then, was trying not to freak out about it. And fast forward to this morning, everything has gone great these last 2 weeks at daycare, no issues. So he was able to go today. I did not need to take him to my friend's house for backup, which was good. And I was excited, thinking I could get started, and now this darn sis. So now I feel like I'm back at square one and trying not to be in panic mode, because now I have the 3 new dates that I have to try and see if I can have backup for. So right before the video, I text his godmother, and she's going to check her work calendar. And sometimes she travels for work. So I don't know. I'm trying to be calm. Plus now I got to change the dates at work, because I had put in to have the day off for the transfer day and the next day, so I could have a couple days to just relax and let the embryo do its thing. So now I got to tell my boss that I'm switching, that I need to take those days, that I'll work those, and then now there's going to be a different day that I'll work instead. And I have a new, I got promoted, so this is a different position from before. Watch out. So the person who I report to now is, sorry, I'm trying to get the next Blue's Clues episode up for him. The person I report to now is, I just don't want to be open with her about what I'm doing yet. I don't want the questions. I don't want the, I'll say her version of support. I don't want it. I'm not close to her in that way. I'm not even telling most of my close friends or family the specific details of certain dates and whatnot. So now I have to explain to her, my procedure. I just said I have a medical procedure. And so she's like, oh, I hope everything's okay. And I'm like, everything's fine. I'm not dying. And so now I got to tell her, oh, it got canceled. And I think I'm just going to tell her it got postponed. I'm not sure of the new dates yet. And so then when I get in, hopefully and prayerfully, it'll take. So the new calendar is, so like I said, today is September 10th. So I'm going back for a second baseline. They wanted to do it in a week, but I requested 2 weeks because in 2 weeks I'm off again, so I don't have to worry about taking off work or being late for work. So I go back in 2 weeks for another lining check. Plus, I thought that 2 weeks might be enough time for the sis to hopefully stop. I didn't want to do it for 1 week and take off or be late for work that morning, just to still have to come back in another week anyway. So I said 2 weeks. So 2 weeks I go back for lining check again, and then if everything is well, I'll start my estrogen, And then after that, I'll come back in another 2 weeks, I think. And they'll see if the lining is done what it's supposed to do. Yes.
They're anywhere box.
Yeah, they're in a box. You want to get in your box? You got a box too. And so that goes well. I'll start my progesterone. I'm glad I held off on ordering my progesterone because I have to take the progesterone ethioleate, and it doesn't have that longest shelf life. I discovered from the ERA cycle. So I wasn't going to order that till I knew that we were really getting started. So I'm trying to not panic. Oh, sorry. So I didn't tell you the date. So the new embryo transfer date will be Wednesday, October 13th. So I'm going to switch my prayer time to 10:13 in the morning and 10:13 at night. So if you are a praying person, please join me in praying for a successful embryo transfer, BFP, no COVID issues leading up to this and everything else. So I'm trying to not panic, I'm trying to remind myself that I trust God, that God has perfect timing, that He has a perfect plan. And obviously He wanted this baby to not be, well, I guess technically it was conceived a few years ago, but you know what I mean. He was not ready for this baby to make itself at home in my uterus in September. So another couple weeks of waiting, and I'm just trusting that God's timing is always the perfect timing. I'm reminding myself of that because my nature is to panic. I've mentioned on here before I have anxiety issues. So just trying to focus on that and find the bright side. That's 2 more weeks of money I can save, and 2 more weeks of leave from work I can save that I can build up to use for maternity leave and all that. So anyway, that's what's going on. I don't think I'm very good at a mukbang because I feel like I barely eat when I talk. I'm dipping these shrimp in ketchup, so ghetto, because I'm trying to kill some of the spice. This is my yucky napkin where I blotted off as much of the hot sauce as I could. I really like the batter, so if they would have not had sauce like I requested, it would have been perfect. I think this is one of the reasons I prefer like the automated thing, like when you go to like Wawa or Honey Grow. I don't know if y'all have those restaurants where you can go to the computer and put in exactly what you want and don't want. Because I feel like when you talk to people, they don't really listen. Even if you repeat it back and they repeat it back, they still do what they want in the kitchen. As opposed to if they're so used to like for every order, they have to look at the paper and do what it says. Because I know when I go to Wawa, my order is never messed up. Not once. I think the only time my order got messed up once when I tried to do the drive-through thing.
Mommy, he found the hot dog, Mom.
I see it. I see your hot dog. But in general, those things, they don't mess it up. Whenever I talk to people. Thank you. We have hot dogs. Sit down. I keep telling you. We have hot dogs from the toy kitchen. You show your hot dogs to the camera? You show your hot dogs to the people?
Mommy, one hot dog.
Your hot dog?
One hot dog.
One hot dog. So, I was telling the people. Wow. What do you want to say? You want to say something to the people? He said, I don't think you can say something to the people. So with that, I think I'm done talking to the people. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the longer video. A couple of more recent videos that were shorter.
Bye.
So hopefully you like this one that's a little longer. My not much of a mukbang. If you've watched this video and enjoyed it to the end, please put the plate emoji or maybe the sushi emoji, either one, in the comments below so I know that you watched to the end. So anyway, that's all for now. So it's not all bad news, but the transfer cycle is, I don't want to say it hasn't started. It's progressing along very slowly. So fingers crossed, prayers, baby dust, all that. Send it my way for transfer on October 13th.
Mommy.
Hey, do you want to be a big brother?
Mommy, the hot dog mom is sad, Mommy.
The hot dog is sad?
Yeah, the hot dog mom is sad.
Oh, it's a hot dog mom?
Yeah, the hot dog mom is sad.
The mom hot dog is sad. So I better go tend to the mom hot dog. I feel like he's ignored my question about being, you want to be a big brother?
No.
No.
No. The hot dog is sad.
Oh, the hot dog feels sad. Which one is the sad one? Which one is the sad one? Because you got two hot dogs.
Two.
I don't know. You're about to knock your plate over. Okay, say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thanks for watching.